This might be the most important video you watch before going into your next relationship. I'm gonna help you to understand the red flags that maybe you missed going into your last relationship and how you can better understand those going into the next relationship. And most importantly, how you can learn, heal, and grow from your last relationship. Now, if you and I have not met yet, my name is Troy. I'm a best-selling author, speaker, and coach, and I wanna help you live a beautiful life. I'll be sharing with you insights I've learned over the last 2 decades, coaching other people, and also going through my own heartbreaks, setbacks, and a divorce. The first thing to take a look at is there's always 2 sides of the coin. And so right now you're probably looking at their side of the coin, the things that they did wrong. Very understandable, and we will get into that in a second. First thing I want you to do is look how you may have contributed to the relationship not working out. And the reason that's so important is because you'll see who you are today, how you've changed, grown, and evolved. And the more you understand who you are, the easier it is to find alignment with the person going forward who might be in your next relationship with you. As an example, after my divorce, I wrote down over 300 things that I did to contribute to the relationship not working out. Now you might be looking at it like, damn, Troy, like you kind of crazy. It wasn't really that. It was just all of these little things that I wrote down. And what I learned through that experience is a lot of them I wasn't sorry for, because I had changed and grown and evolved over the years in a beautiful way, and I was happy about these things. And the reality is, what it showed me is that her and I had kind of just grown apart. And that's a beautiful thing, because then I was able to have more empathy and appreciation for her, and it didn't have to be this negative thing. Like sometimes things just end. You grow, you change, you evolve. But the other beautiful thing, and what I want you to take from this, is it showed me who I am today. Yes, there were some things that I absolutely would like to improve and work on. It's important that you and I take responsibility for these things. And when that takes place, what it helps you do is realize, like, yo, going into the next relationship, these are the things that are gonna matter to me. I want somebody I can find alignment and congruency with. This is the things like are non-negotiable to me. This is who I am as a person. And so by you doing that honest evaluation, one is you're going to take responsibility and learn from those experiences so that you can get better. We should always look how we can learn. We grab the lesson from it and we get better. And also, you're going to find the things that are just you. Like, I'm kind of this way. Maybe you're a little ambitious. Maybe you're a little lazy in some areas. Maybe you have a high bar for yourself in life, and that kind of rubs off on other people. Maybe some of that you can loosen up. You can have less control, right? But maybe some other areas you're like, yo, this really matters to me. I want to take care of X, Y, and Z in life. I want to live a certain way. And so really taking an honest evaluation is going to help you going into your next relationship. Once you've done that, then you can look at their side of the coin, how they may have contributed to the relationship. But here's what's important. I want you to condense it down to only 3 to 5 things. These are going to be your red flags going into the next relationship. And the reason why I want you to condense it down is because that way it's easy for you to understand and to find. Because the reality is, like, you could probably grab a whole bunch of stuff. They did this and that and this, but it's too much. You can't grab all those red flags. So when you condense it down to these few precise things, like maybe they created a lot of chaos in the relationship. They were always finding different times to fight and argue with you. It was explosive, and you don't like that kind of energy. It's a lot of chaos. And so you go, man, I really don't appreciate the chaos that someone might bring in the relationship. What I'm looking for is a partnership where they bring peace into my life. And that's a really valuable thing for me going forward. And so now you know I'm looking for peace versus chaos. Very simplified. So that's what I want you to look for, is like the simplified version of those red flags. And then what that does is you go into the next relationship, you can see if that person has alignment with who you are. Lastly, and most importantly, is you have to learn to be responsible for your own happiness. In theory, what it looks like is you are responsible for filling up your own cup. In the Bible, and not even to make this religious, but the Bible talks about you must fill your own cup. And when you fill your own cup, it then overfilleth. It pours out to everyone around you. And so that's the version that I want you to create of yourself going in the next relationship, meaning that you are full, you're complete as you are, you're interdependent, and then you can also attract somebody who is also interdependent. Those are 2 strong forces coming together. You attract similar to what you are. But most often what takes place, and maybe what you did in your last relationship, is you were looking for somebody to fill the void. Maybe things weren't quite working out in life. You weren't fully happy. You didn't feel complete necessarily. And so there's this like unhappiness, this loneliness. There's these low-level energies that kind of exist in your reality. And so then the light bulb goes on. I know what makes me happy. Relationships. So then you think the relationship is the thing to help fill that void. Stop right there. Like, that ain't it. That ain't it. Because then what you're going to do is you're going to attract somebody similar to that. And then what takes place is you fill each other's voids. That is the key sign of codependency. And what that looks like is 2 forces that aren't dependent by themselves trying to support each other. And then what happens is eventually you go through challenging times. Somebody has a hard moment, a hard day, a hard year, whatever it might be, and you collapse because you're not truly supporting each other. You must learn to be interdependent, meaning you take responsibility for your own joy, your own happiness. After my divorce, I made the commitment to stay celibate and sober for over a year. And I did that because I knew, like, I didn't want to go out and search for the void, because I wanted to heal, learn, and grow from the previous relationship. So that way, one day when I go into a new relationship, everything's all taken care of. I've done the inner work, and so now I'm bringing a complete person to you into the next relationship. It would have been easier just to fall into coping patterns, going to the bar, getting drunk, whatever that might be, looking for the next person to fill the void. But I knew if I did those things, it'd only bring momentarily happiness. But rather what I wanted to do was be complete, is to fill my own cup. I knew I had to do that kind of work, and it wasn't easy because I had my lonely moments, my down times, my sad days, all of that. But that was part of the grieving process and part of the healing process. I deeply believe that if you don't heal those wounds, the scars that present themselves in life, because that's a given and a guaranteed, you're gonna go through hard times. My best-selling book, Scars, talks about this in detail. And so the reality is, when you have these wounds and these scars and you don't go into them, you don't heal from them, because there's always a lesson to be learned. Because the way the brain works, it works in these simplified stories. So quite literally, you might experience a heartbreak, or maybe the person cheated on you, or they did this to you or that to you. They violated your trust. But the way the brain works, it will grab a little like snippet of the story. And the snippet of the story is usually something like, you're not lovable, you're not enough, you don't make enough money, some flaw that has to do with you. Now, some of that might be valid, and you want to learn and grow from those things, but the reality is most of the time, it's not valid. For a relationship not to work out, do you think it really can be condensed to one simplified story? Absolutely not. And so you look at it for what it actually is. You see how they played a role in this thing. You see how you can grow from this. And then you change the narrative in your mind, your subconscious mind, to that this is actually a moment that's going to empower me and make my life better. That has to take place. If not, this is what will happen. As your body, I believe, like deep down, your neurological system, your subconscious mind, it calls in a similar experience with the intention for it to be healed. So this time it can be different. So literally, you start finding yourself dating the same type of person. In the beginning, of course, you don't connect to it, you don't even realize it, but you find yourself dating the same type of person, repeating the same relationship cycle, because actually these deeper parts of you are calling the similar experience in, so you can learn from it, you can heal from it. But when you don't have those tools, when you don't do that, when you don't unearth those scars and find the superpowers within them, that is what happens in relationship. Rather, when you actually heal from those things, when you change the narrative, change the story, you become empowered and you get better from it. And then you learn to fill your own cup. You don't need anything outside of you. And think of the relationship that you will attract once you have that kind of energy. Like, yo, I don't need to be in a relationship with you. You're not needy, you're not clingy. That is very powerful and very attractive. And then you attract somebody else who's like that as well. Like, I got my stuff handled. I've worked on myself. I worked internally and externally. And then those two people come together. That is partnership. That is support. But if you haven't done that, you're just finding this like, I need you. Well, I need you. That's what you're going to attract. And there is no stability, no foundation within that. You always got to have the foundation to build the structure. So make the foundation your inner work, healing from the past, changing the narratives, and that will change your life. Now, look, I make these videos for you. So if you could do me a favor and subscribe, it costs you nothing. It means a lot. And of course, comment. Let me know what you liked from this video, what you learned from it, and what also maybe we could talk about in the future. So until next time, peace.